We have with us Joey Loano, driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford, and right now Joey is making a donation along with the Shell Fuel for Success program to the Manchester Police Athletic League.
Right here, please.
That's a lot of money.
Joey, get right here, please.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Really appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Yep. Nice to meet you as well. Thank you.
The check presentation here that just let folks know, we're holding the check right now is John Lavasser with the Manchester Police Athletic League, a police officer, and then we also have Adam Hollis, who is with the Manchester Police Athletic League, who will be the beneficiaries of this program. Joe, how about you tell the folks where this money is going to go to and how it's going to be used?
Yeah, I'm sure John could probably explain even more than me, but you know, the Chase and Second Chances program, we've been doing it a couple years now. During the Chase is it's a great time to raise awareness for a lot of different situations that's going on in our world, because there's a lot of eyes on our sport right now, so we should take out that opportunity and make the most of it. And like I said, second year doing it. This week is with MPAL. You know, from what I understand, what they do basically is that they're able to take like an after-school program, get a lot of kids to kind of you know, have some reactions and you know, spend some time with some police officers and you know, play some sports, some tutoring, some just some positive times with some officers. And I think you know, if you look at, there's a lot of studies about you know, having a role model. It's maybe not your parents. A lot of time helps a lot of kids grow up. And I know that for myself personally, having people older than me that I lean on a lot, there's a lot of wisdom there. And I think it's smart for all of us to ask our elders a lot of questions, right? And this is a great way for kids to start that at a young age in an after-school program. And obviously, with a lot of things that's going on in our world right now, and for a lot of our homes right now, this is an amazing time for this. And I can see the reaction and being able to stop what's going on. And so I'm very proud to be a part of it and helping with the Joey Loano Foundation to help MPAL and what they're trying to do, because we honestly, truly believe and what they're doing could really make a difference.
We'll have John and Adam available afterwards if you have additional questions for them. But I'd like to ask you real quick, John. I mean, what does this mean to you and to MPAL to get this money to help in this program?
Thank you, Joey. For instance, I was a PAL kid, so when I grew up in the city, I grew up on the west side of Manchester, and I started boxing at the program I had, and so I found some role models that were police officers down there. That's when I started having some real positive interactions with police. After going down there for some time, I started volunteering so I could pay it forward, and through paying it forward, I became a police officer. So I'm just one of so many kids through our program that have come through and done good things with their lives. And this is a way, especially these days, it breaks these barriers down. So this donation goes a long way because we need that support from the community. We're a completely nonprofit. I'm the only paid position that's down at that building. I've got 70 to 80 kids after school that come there as a safe haven. And during the summertime, I have them come all during the daytime. So while their parents are at work, we're there and we're role modeling and mentoring them. And some of these kids just don't have those role models or mentors at all. So you don't really know how much this is going to impact, and it's absolutely amazing. So we are blessed to be here, and I just can't thank you enough. I can't thank your team, the people that set this up. For me, it's touching. It really is. So thank you.
Adam, the impact from your perspective.
Sure. So as a member of the board for the MPAL, I've been involved about a year now, and the board, of course, we're really focused on raising funds to support the programs. As John mentioned, we're completely self-funded with the exception of John's salary. So donations like this, I mean, we can fully equip our new commercial kitchen. We can buy new equipment for the fitness programs. We can buy gis for the judo programs. I mean, this will go so far to help so many kids. It's really very impactful. So as a member of the board and from the board, we thank you very much for your involvement. It means a lot.
Good deal. We're going to open the floor up to questions. We'll start here at Jerry, and we'll work our way around. When you get the microphone, just please state your name and affiliation.
Jerry Jordan, Performance Racing Network, and Kicking the Tires. For the group with the MPAL, not only is this going to help with the athletics and things like that, but also from an educational standpoint, I understand that you guys are working with some STEM programs, things like that, to also as part of the Shell Fuel for Success program.
Yes, we're going to be starting an after-school program, so these kids have some technology to be able to use there that they normally would not have, as well as we're bringing in volunteers because everything besides my position, which is paid through the city, we have a lot of volunteers that come in, so we've made some really good connections. So we're going to have St. Anselm's kids coming in and possibly some Southern New Hampshire University kids coming in, college kids coming in to help out with the kids and role models. So that way because I'm only one body, and it takes a lot of other people that are going to volunteer to be role model and help these kids out. So for that project, we're going to have some college kids hopefully helping out with that if I'm teaching one of the other activities at that time. So it's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, questions for Joey Logano? We'll go here to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Joey, in the last month or so, there's certainly been a lot of things in sports where sports figures have taken a more prominent role about different social issues, and it's raised the question about the role of athletes and what role they can have, should have. How do you view? And I know there's also the challenges when, maybe unlike other athletes, you've got companies or sponsors that you've got to be in contact with on something. But how do you look at social activism? Is anything changing as you see what's going on how you may look at things moving forward?
I think any athlete or public figure takes on a responsibility when you sit down here and talk to you guys, or at any point. There's a lot of people that you can influence in good ways or bad ways. And I feel like you should know that. And there's a lot of athletes and public figures that don't realize that, about the reaction that they can make across the country or the world in a lot of cases by just a couple words. And if I feel like that should be somehow taught. I believe we all should be entitled to our opinions. That's A-okay. Maybe some of the ways that it's done is not the best way possible. But I personally believe when I sit down here, I know the, I don't want to say power, that's not the right word, but the influence that I can have on young eyes watching us that are very, fragile at the time, that they can go a lot of different ways. You want to be a positive member of society. And I think that's something that I try to, preach all the time, is that, hey, I want to, positively impact somebody's life. And I think ways like we're doing it today with MPAL, is there a better way of doing it? I don't think so. No, I don't know a better way. Maybe there is, but I don't know a better way. I can tell you that much. So I feel like, if you can find some great organizations like we have today and impact people in that way and use this platform that we have as a public figure to positively impact people, that's the way to do it. I don't honestly believe in a lot of other ways that other athletes are doing it right now.
Go next to Lewis.
Yeah, Louis Frank of Reuters over here. Last week, your boss's IndyCar team wrapped up a 14th championship, and as most people in this room who are listening note, both the IndyCar teams and the NASCAR teams are based in Mooresville. So on a light note, any little pressure, any little digs from the IndyCar side about your championship, but on a serious note, any assets become available now that that season has wrapped up?
Well, I mean, they finished 1, 2, and 3. Holy moly! So, there's, I don't know if you want to call it added pressure, but I think there's plenty on us already, and I think we are better under pressure. So I like that. 50 years for Team Penske. You guys well know that. We've announced that plenty this year, but for them to do that in the 50th anniversary is very special, and it's really cool to be somewhat a part of that. I feel like I'm part of the team. Even the IndyCar team, there's a lot of guys that are cross-pollinated throughout our company, and does it open up some resources, maybe a little bit here and there, maybe more time for a lot of guys that, maybe the machine shop opens up a little bit. I'm probably not the best person to answer a lot of those questions, but it is a kind of a motivational thing. I think it's great to see that. It makes the NASCAR guys want to go out here and continue this awesome year Team Penske's had so far. and Brad and I have a great shot at it. Hey, what if we finished 1-2 in Homestead? How cool would that be? And we have an amazing opportunity to do that. We got a long ways to go to get there, but we can do it.
Go next to Mark, and then we'll go to Rich.
Mark Garrow, PRN. Joey, what's the pressure like in race 2 of these rounds, in the middle race, if you haven't won the opening race? You've been in that position last year where you jumped out and won the opening race of a round and then could do what you wanted to do at that point. But what's it like when you haven't won yet and you're right here smack in the middle round?
I think I just approached it the same way I would every other race. If you didn't have a good race last week, then yes, the pressure is added, no doubt. But I felt like we had we finished second last week. We, scored some good points. We talk about this round just being, base hits and don't have to do anything crazy. We did that exactly last week. So we'll just come up here and do the same exact thing. If something happens, and we'll approach Dover in a different way. But right now, it's, hey, let's go out here. If we can win the race, we're going to win the race. If not, let's try to top 5 it, and that would give us a good sense of security heading into Dover. But it's one race at a time, one step at a time. For us, personally, the 22 team had a good weekend last week. The pressure is probably the same as what it was in Chicago. We just got to do what we know how to do.
How much of a relief is it to win a race, just not to have to worry about whether it's race 3 or race 2 or 3 in a round?
It just feels good to win, no matter what. It's so hard to win, So when you're able to accomplish that feat, it's an awesome feeling. For me, New Hampshire would be just an awesome place to win, just mainly because it's my home track. Even more than the Chase implications at this point. If we had a bad race last week, then the win would mean a lot more. But if you have a second and a first, the win's not what's going to get you through. It's going to be the points that go along with it. So, I think the win and how much it relaxes you is different for each round. And as you get further along with it, we talked about it plenty of times. If you can win in Martinsville, you have a couple weeks just to figure out how you're going to win Homestead. That win means a lot. If you're in a do or die moment in the third race, that win means a lot. And a lot of times if you're able to, get a win before Talladega, that win means a lot. So there's certain ones that stand out are probably more important than others, and there's certain ones that just, hey, if you can get a solid day, is very important as well.
Going to go next to Rich, and then up front to Bob.
Hi, Joey. Rich Thompson, Boston Herald. Are you pretty satisfied with the state of the 22 team right now?
Yes, of course. I thought last weekend presented an amazing opportunity for something to go either way. And when I say that, I mean the caution that came out right at the end. We had a pretty good race car. We come down with a green-white checker, come down pit road. We all call that the money stop. And they went down there and beat one of the best pit crews on pit road, the 11 team, beat them off of pit road, which ultimately gave us the outside starting position behind Martin, and we were able to follow through and come home with a second place finish. If it wasn't for that pit stop, we wouldn't have been in position for a great finish like we had. That pressure and the way you handle that is, to me, the definition of a true athlete. There's a lot of athletes that can practice really well, and when it becomes game time and you put the pressure on them, it goes the wrong way. And then there's an athlete that you put the pressure on and they get better. And that's what I saw in the 22 team last weekend. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of that.
We'll come up here to Bob Pockers.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Most of the drivers live kind of outside the downtown area of Charlotte. Most of you are from other places. So I'm curious, with what's going on in Charlotte, do you guys feel an emotional at all attachment to it? I mean, do you feel like it's your community, and has there been any talk yet among drivers about anything that you all can do?
Well, I'm not 100% sure what we can do. Obviously, we're trying to do things here today, but yeah, there's an emotional reaction. A lot of times when you see things like this happen, it's in a different city and you don't recognize where it's at. But when you see the NASCAR building getting vandalized and you see areas of the city that you know very well, with just crazy things happening, it makes you sick to your gut. You don't know what to do, and you kind of feel helpless, and all we can do really is just, say some prayers and hope that, eventually everything calms down and everyone is able to come to some kind of peace at the end of this thing, and we can move on and move forward and make our world better. But right now, yeah, it's a scary situation. To me, it's I don't really know how to explain how I feel about it, but I know one thing is that it's when I see buildings getting vandalized and things like that happening, it's unacceptable in my opinion, and we need to figure out how to control that and do it in a peaceful way. And I think we'd all get to come to a better understanding for sure of the situation.
Okay, well, Joey, good luck this week, and thanks again for the donation, and I'm sure the MPAL folks will appreciate it. If you have any additional questions for our friends from MPAL, we also have Todd Smith here with Shell. They'll be available in the back of the room, and we will be joined by Matt Kenseth shortly.
Great, thank you.